him that hath understanding seeketh knowledge, but the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness. The heart and the tongue are so connected. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. And finally, the heart of the wise teaches his mouth. The heart teaches the mouth and adds learning to the lips. And so if I was teaching on holiness here, and I was teaching on external holiness, and I says, you need to trim your tongue back. You know, we've got a teaching here that you can only have a tongue that long. You know, men should have shorter tongues than women, or should it be the other way around, Pastor? Everyone would go to the tongue barber, and they would have their tongue trimmed. But you know what the problem is? It's not the length of the tongue, it's the blackness of the heart. And so what I really should be teaching on, clean up your heart, and your tongue will register the right length. See? And so what I'm trying to say here is when I'm teaching on holiness, we have to do what Jesus says. Go to the inside of the cup. Go to the inside of the grave. And don't just whitewash over it, because all you're doing is masking people's problems. But I say unto you, every idle word that men shall speak, they will give an account of in the day of judgment. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. And why is God going to be so hard on what I said? Because it's the printer of my soul. It is the hard copy of what I have on the disc in my spirit. It's nothing more than me, visible. And me visible, I am accountable for. But if I can't fix me visible, I better deal with me invisible. I better deal with what's on the inside. But on the outside, it's broken promises. It's gossip. It's lying. It's filthy language. And it's angry speech. But please, brothers and sisters, understand that's not the real Mel. The real Mel is just a really nice guy. And what you're seeing is the bad Mel under pressure. Really now. Really now. And so Paul says it like this. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercy of God, present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you can prove what is perfect and good and acceptable in the will of God. Holiness is a mind renewed and a life not conformed to this world. It's a mind that has been renewed. Clean up the outside of the cup first. This is the way Jesus said it. This is the way James said it. A double-minded man, he's unstable in all his ways. And so a person who has not fixed their mind and fixed the inside is a person who is really, in many ways, spiritually schizophrenic. That double personality is like, you never know who's coming to church. You never know who's coming home from work. Is it the good wife? It reminds me of Dorothy. Are you a good witch or are you a bad witch? Yeah, I'm a witch. A double-minded man is worse. I remember my pastor years ago saying, you got to make a decision. You got to choose one way or you got to choose the other way. But don't stand in the middle. You're just miserable. Absolutely. In the middle is unstable in all your ways. All your ways. Paul says it like this. Final judgment must wait until the Lord comes, because he will bring to light the dark secrets. And he's going to expose the hidden purposes of people's minds. I taught it this here last week, and I just want to use this example again. I can see me someday in judgment, standing there before God, you all there waiting in line because B comes first. You know, my name is Berglund, and so I'm at the front of the judgment line, and I'm standing there, and I walk up, and an angel has a little chip, a little memory chip, and he sticks it in my head. And suddenly up on the screen, there's me as a baby crying, and my mother's feeding me. And I stand there for 70 years while my entire life is played before me. And you guys have to watch. But it's not just what you saw in church. It's all of Mel. Every minute, every hour, every second. And as I'm watching, I'm becoming more and more embarrassed. Because not only are you seeing what you would have seen, you're seeing what you should never have seen. You're even seeing what I thought about you. And by the time my movie is done, you know what you're doing? You're saying, send him to hell! It's true. My mother is saying, get him out of here! And an angel takes me by the arm and says, you know where you're going. I'm saying, you guys, I gotta go. Or I can have some all-purpose blood of Jesus applied to my life, where it changes not only the outside, but the inside. My heart's been washed. And I stand there, and the angel sticks the chip in my head, and the screen comes up blank. They go, well, this is another one of them. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. See you guys. Next. C. Do we have a C? I sure hope you've got the blood applied to your life. And I hope your heart's been cleansed. Because if it hasn't, you have an embarrassing judgment. It says he's going to reveal the dark secrets. He's going to expose the hidden purposes of your mind. The judgment. Ooh, what's that? Because those people refuse to keep minds, the true knowledge about God. He's given them over to corrupt minds so that they do things that they should not do. You know anybody that does stuff they shouldn't do? It's because their minds have been corrupted. They're filled with all kinds of wickedness and evil, greed, vice. They're full of jealousy, murder, fighting, deceit, malice. They gossip. They speak evil of one another. They're hateful to God, insolent, proud, boastful. They think of more ways to do evil. Where's my kids? They disobey mommy and daddy, of all things. But look at this. They know that God's law says that people who live this way deserve death. Yet they not only continue to do these things, they even take pleasure in others that do them, and they watch it on their Samsung. I'm not preaching against TV, I'm preaching against sin. And the things that we take pleasure in. What do we find entertaining? Not only our own sin, but the sins of others. They did what? You got a story for me? Let me tell you about that one, brother. Gossip. David said it like this: I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. How are you going to keep your heart perfect? He says, I